Nearly 29% of the vote, a few points ahead of Attorney General Alan Wilson. Now the two will face each other in a runoff. While President Trump endorsed Yvette before the primary, he's now endorsing both Yvette and Wilson in the runoff, writing in a recent Truth Social post he can't hurt one of them by only endorsing the other. There are congressional race runoffs as well, including in Nancy Mace's 1st district. Charleston County Councilwoman Jenny Costa Honeycutt is up against State Representative Mark Smith. On the Democratic side, Coast Guard veteran Mac DeFord faces retired Navy Vice Admiral Nancy LaCour, who was fired by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth as Chief of the Navy Reserve. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The Supreme Court got it right. That's how one attorney feels about a ruling against a federal ban on gun ownership by marijuana users.
Ali Daniel Hermani of Texas argued that a law barring guns from anyone who regularly uses illegal drugs violates the Second Amendment. The ruling is the latest in a line of firearms cases from a court that has expanded gun rights, but critics have posed concerns that this adds to a trend of loosening laws about marijuana and other controlled substances, thus making it easier to consume them instead of making access more difficult. In an interview with AFR, attorney Gerard Felitti acknowledged that issue, but still said the decision was correct and in line with the Supreme Court's analysis of the Second Amendment.
So what the Supreme Court did was it really narrowed the statute, it narrowed the law, it didn't strike it down entirely. So there is still room for prosecuting people who are intoxicated while they're possessing a gun, or while they're high while possessing a gun, bluntly speaking. That's still something that can happen, but otherwise, disarming an entire class automatically by the statute, the court found that problematic and unconstitutional.
Many states now allow for recreational marijuana use. Hermani, who was not charged with any other crimes or accused of using the weapon under the influence, said through his attorney that he is thankful to have closure. I'm Chris Woodward.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Key.
The American Family Association's mission is to inform, equip, and activate individuals to strengthen the moral foundations of our culture. We also support the church. Our goal is to be a leading organization in biblical worldview training for cultural transformation. AFA believes that all men and women, whether in private or public, should be free to exercise their faith without hindrance from the government.
Thank you for standing with the American Family Association.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildman, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. Today's Tuesday, June the 23rd, 2026. Tim Wildman here with Ed Battagliano. Good morning, Brother Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
And Wesley Wildman. Good morning, Wesley.
Good morning.
And Chris Woodward's
Hello.
here. All three of you guys are. Chris, I like your spirit, Chris.
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
Well, he's got out of that stack. He's got one good, uplifting story, and he's fired up about it.
He's fired up about it. We're going to get to it.
I'm sorry. It sounds like he needs to be on medication.
Not necessarily fired. Okay.
I use, I do what I can.
Yeah, yeah. So, listen, the medications you take, Chris, are personal.
That's
and I
right.
wouldn't, you don't feel...
I shouldn't be asking.
You shouldn't be divulging to the world Chris is on medication.
Yeah, people don't realize
There's got to be a legal
this.
thing there.
Once the show ends every day at 11, I go upstairs and talk to HR. And,
right.
About harassment
on live radio.
On Today's Issues.
It's harassment.
Harassment.
I don't know. I've always heard harassment. Is it harassment?
Some people do pronounce it that.
It's harassment if you're highfalutin.
Yeah.
I knew a Harris mint in high school.
That's what
he was a pretty friendly guy.
Yeah.
That played a flute. Is that what you said, a flute?
Highfalutin. There you go. I like it. Highfalutin.
Okay, once again, it's up to me to get us back on track.
Yeah, that's right. You do your thing,
I do. That's why I'm here. All right, so a lot to talk about today. Dr. Frank Turek will be with us in just a few minutes here on the program. In the meantime, I've got a job offer, came in via text.
Amazon.
I'm going to look at it. So I don't know
We were at folks. If you're wondering where that came from, as Tim tries to get us back on track, is we were talking before the show about how good spam texts are getting.
Spammers and scammers.
Spammers and scammers are getting so good because you said, Tim, you got a job offer. I mean, it's
dear candidate. It says that's how it starts out. Dear candidate.
I have gotten to the place where I am barely accepting friend requests on Facebook. I don't listen, if I don't recognize the number on my phone at work or on my cell phone, I don't answer it. And I don't click on emails. I'm getting to the place where I'm just going, I don't want to. There are human beings that I know. I'll talk to those people. Everyone else, you're out of luck. Because the scammers and what'd you say?
Spammers and scammers.
Spammers and scammers are getting so good at everything, and
they're using AI.
I'm just an old man who's getting confused.
They are using AI, aren't they?
Yep. So I'm trying to find the one that I've been getting. So I've been getting
Walker. You said, Tim, while you're looking for that,
yeah, sure.
Walker, you said Walker got an email from himself.
Yeah,
from his own account.
It's called email spoofing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is, we joke about it, but it's getting exhausting for people. I was reading how many texts and phone calls and emails people get. They're tricks. I call them, trying to trick people into doing something.
Yeah.
To lose money, to get to your bank account.
Right.
To trick you. And it's just, like you're saying, it's almost to the point where a lot of people are saying, I just want off.
Yeah, I want out.
I want out. I don't want to have to see is this real or not anymore.
Right.
What did you say, Wesley?
Mine is going to be take too long to explain, but basically I was getting into details, but I was getting emails from a coworker regarding work, and within a couple of days I began getting emails on a similar topic, but it was all recreated. And it had a lot of information based on mine and a coworker's working email.
Wow.
Yep. And it had my name in there. But that's how I caught it. It was talking to me.
Wesley?
Yes.
AI's made life a lot easier for the spammers and scammers.
Oh yeah.
Because we've gotten a few, not many. We've gotten fake invoices. I hear from people the same thing at their businesses, fake invoices. And
what's going to be weird is that eventually everyone's going to have to use AI to combat AI.
Yes.
I mean, you're going to have to, because the human eye is not going to be able to tell what's fake anymore. I don't know how many times I've seen videos about Bigfoot, and you just go, well, I know that can't be real, or it would have been all over the news, but that looks totally real.
Yeah.
Now the six fingers.
How many fake phone calls? How many spam calls do you get? Let's say in a week.
I don't know.
One
that's
or two?
a good question.
I get 3
phone calls.
I don't answer them either.
Calls.
I'm like you. I don't answer them.
I don't get as many phone calls, but I get texts and emails.
Right.
I don't get as many phone calls. I guess I should be happy about that.
My several years ago when we got my oldest daughter a cell phone, literally the weekend that she turned it on, she started getting spam phone calls. It's like they have their tentacles out there, and anytime a phone is activated, the robot, hey, call this number.
All right.
And to this day, she gets multiple spam calls a day on her cell phone.
Goodness.
Okay, go ahead.
By the way, you were tagged in this email, but it was your old email. That's why.
Okay. So
You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Tim and Wesley.
This is from some scammer.
That's right, just one of many. Unfortunately, our culture has created fear around making obvious assumptions about human genetics, but I will go on a limb and assume that and making a father and a son introduction that are, this you can see none of this is not making any sense, that are Tupelo, Mississippi, lowercase s, has an abundance of unrelated Wildmans. I will also assume that Hottie Toddy is unwelcome. They're using AI to find out information about us while typing up the email.
If you ever tell me Hottie Toddy, I'm going to assume you've been taken by aliens.
That's right.
So I'm just to conclude this segment here on spammers and scammers. this job offer that I refused this morning, that I got this morning on text, it said, "Dear candidate."
Yeah. Probably thank you for your.
I just responded that I told them I'm 8 years old. So you're going to have to get back.
You didn't really respond.
I didn't.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Don't respond to these people. Because then you confirm that you're a real person.
Yeah, and then they won't leave you alone.
And they won't leave you alone anyway. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. We do have some good news, some legit, not spammers and scammers, to report here at today. And joining us to discuss it is our good friend Dr. Frank Turek, host of I Don't Have Enough Spam to Be an Atheist. No, excuse me, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. Heard weekends, 9 a.m. Central Time and 4 p.m. On Saturday and 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoons. I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. Frank Turek. Good morning, Brother Frank.
Hey, Tim, how come I keep getting emails from you that say that you're a Nigerian prince and that you want to send me a whole bunch of money to my bank account if I would just give it to you? It says Tim Wildman on there.
I know. Just send it to my bank account. Oh, gosh. You heard what we were talking about. People are getting exhausted with it. You know.
Hey, but can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's part of the price of living in a capitalist society. You know, people are advertising, okay? I get frustrated with ads too, but on the other hand, ads keep the commerce going. I mean, it's why we have a country of prosperity.
We're not talking, Frank.
He thinks we're against capitalism.
We weren't talking,
you socialists.
We weren't talking about getting ads to buy like a Boston Bruins jersey. We're talking about scammers.
Well, who would want that?
I would, and I made the mistake of searching one time, and now that's all I get popping up. No, we're actually talking about the ones who were trying to extract information from you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, you get plenty of that. That's not capitalism. That's theft.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's quite the opposite. All right, Chris, tell us the good news, and then we'll let Frank comment on it. Go ahead.
Yes, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, says players will not be disciplined over Bible verses on Pride Night caps. For people not aware, Major League Baseball has for many seasons now been a proud supporter of so-called Pride Month and the LGBTQIA plus community. So much so that Major League Baseball puts out feel-good things with rainbow colors during June, which is Pride Month in the eyes of some Americans. San Francisco has a team called the Giants, and they recently paid tribute to Pride Night by having players in uniform that had rainbow colors on them. Some players said, "I'm not doing that," and they wrote Bible verses on their caps. The Bible verse is from the book of Genesis, and it has to do with God's use of the rainbow to promise never to flood the earth again, which is something many Christians talk about and share with other people during Pride Month. And various players were reprimanded. They were ridiculed. People were ripping them on social media. And after Senator Josh Hawley got involved here, Major League Baseball's commissioner came forth and said in a letter to Hawley and others that the players are not going to be disciplined. And interestingly enough, the commissioner is on record as saying the players were not even informed of their rights, that they didn't have to wear these kinds of things. Players were not informed. They show up to work. This is the uniform. You wear it or you get fined, that kind of stuff. And so the good news here that I'm proud to share is that the commissioner of Major League Baseball says these players will not be disciplined over sharing Bible verses on Pride Night caps like many people said they would be. What do you think about all this, Frank?
Wow. Gee, I think I know why. Because the Department of Justice was about to hammer them with a lawsuit, rightfully so. In fact, Harmeet Dillon, who is the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, said the DOJ had referred the matter to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, arguing that Major League Baseball's handling of the warnings raised religious discrimination concerns. Exactly. Let me ask you guys, why do you think we have Pride Night at a baseball game? What is the point of that?
It is to promote an ideology. And
yeah, but why? Why that? Why not heterosexual marriage night? Why not fatherhood night?
The bigots have come out. Good night.
Gee,
I thought we had moved. I thought we had advanced.
Why not American Family Radio night?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a very good question. Let me just say this, just to clarify for folks. what the commissioner of Major League Baseball did in response to Senator Hawley's letter, he said that the San Francisco Giants baseball team failed, this was kind of quite interesting, failed to inform their players that they could opt out if they wanted to from wearing the Pride logo on their uniform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. I get they could opt out, but why are they doing it to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because all the world is, Frank. I agree with you. Why do you celebrate a sexual orientation or a political view? Those are intertwined. I think most Americans are tired of it. I think most people. Okay, we get it. You're proud. Okay, and we get it. You've added 2 letters since last year. So we got that. But why is it necessary to have to be promoted and be exalted? For a Major League Baseball or any corporation, or any company. So I think this is it's not good news that Major League Baseball does this. Now, is this the choice though of the team, or does Major League Baseball make all their teams do this?
Well, there is one team that does not do this every year, and that's the Texas Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then it must not be compulsory then.
I think the individual teams
can make a decision.
Make the decision, and if they do that, then Major League Baseball gives the thumbs up to the decision to change the uniform away from the typical approved uniform.
Because normally you can't change.
Right.
It's against the rules.
Yeah, you get fined for wearing something.
Yeah, and
different.
I understand that. Every company has to have the right to.
And I think what Frank's talking about, because this happened in the National Hockey League, they started drifting towards the Pride Night celebrations as well. And the players were told they had to, for the pregame skate, they come out for warm-ups, that they would wear rainbow jerseys, and then those jerseys are given away or auctioned off afterwards. And what was happening is that you have, because the National Hockey League has a pretty good percentage of players from Eastern Europe, most of whom were Catholic or Orthodox, they refused to go out for the warm-up with these jerseys on. And you had other players using tape on their sticks that was rainbow, and they were refusing to do that. And there were enough of them that these teams were getting embarrassed, and the local homosexual activist group was saying, how come Ivan Provorov is not wearing the jersey? You got 4 players who aren't wearing the jersey. So rather than have that embarrassment, they stopped doing the Pride Night. Mm-hmm. In the National Hockey League. Now, there's a few teams that do continue to do it. But if now that this has been clarified by Major League Baseball, it could be that you have more teams who do the same thing.
Yeah.
If you've got enough players who say, no, I don't want to wear the cap, you may see some of these teams go, all right, then we're not doing it.
This
Go ahead.
is exactly like Daniel and his friends. We're not going to bow to the idol. Fine. Throw us in the fire. We're not going to do it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but too many Christians are like sheep. They just go along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Josh Hawley's not a sheep, I guess.
No, certainly not.
He Let me just say this, just to clarify for maybe people who are casual listeners or not Christians and they don't understand. What's wrong with you people? You don't want to be nice to gay and lesbians? Well, why do you object to this? Let me just say this just clearly, and that some people confuse this intentionally or don't understand it. Okay, there are many Christians who believe the Bible when it says that homosexuality is a sin. Just like adultery, or just like murder, or just like stealing or lying or
infidelity,
cheating. They're sin against God. In other words, this God tells you don't do this, and you do it, you have sinned. So, homosexuality, the behavior itself is listed as a sin, not in the 10 Commandments, but in other places in the Bible. Okay. So when you have a Christian player on your team and you say you must wear an emblem that celebrates something you believe is a sin and forbidden, then you're violating their conscience, okay? And thus the expression religious exemption exists. Now, here's where the many on the, I guess secular left would say, they falsely equate what I just said as hate. In other words, if you don't want to wear this emblem that supports pride for LGBTQ XRYZ W9 1040D.
Added numbers.
Okay, if you don't want to wear this emblem, oh, what's wrong with you?
Hater.
You must be a hater.
Right.
See, it's like, and it's a false accusation. It's like saying that because you don't want to celebrate, I'm trying to think on the fly, you don't want to celebrate alcohol.
Or pick a different religion.
You hate the alcoholic.
Right.
Well, the reason for that is a lot of people think that love means approval. That, if you're going to love me, you have to approve of what I do. But love doesn't mean approval. Every parent knows if you approve of everything your 13-year-old wants to do, you're not loving.
Right.
You need to stand in the way of evil.
Right.
And the people on the other side of this issue, the people who identify as LGBTQ+, they don't approve of our position. But that doesn't mean they don't love us. Love doesn't mean approval.
Yeah,
if it meant approval, you would have to approve of every evil thing that's being done. And according to the designer of the universe, then the designer of us, same-sex relations are harmful and sinful, and it would be unloving of us to wear the emblem. It would be unloving of us to lie to people and say it's okay. It would be unloving of us to approve of something that isn't right. This is why Paul says in the passage that everybody reads at their wedding, but nobody obeys, 1 Corinthians 13, that love always protects, love always perseveres, love does not rejoice in wrongdoing, it rejoices in the truth. So you don't affirm error. You don't affirm things that are wrong. When you do that, you're unloving and you're enticing people to stay in a situation that not only has temporal but eternal consequences.
I'll add to this. It's because of what we're saying, I believe, is the reason why this issue is becoming a slow fade to not being a thing anymore. Now, it's not, obviously it's not going to go, I don't think it'll ever go completely away, especially as long as you got Obergefell, the legal side of it. But we are seeing a lot of losing in this area. If you remember back during the peak of the woke era between 2019 and 2021, we can all go down the list of people getting fired for this position. Kurt Schilling, he's a baseball player. He was a sports analyst. He put on his own, this is back in 2017 or something like that, he tweeted on his own personal account the Bible verse that says one man, one woman, and he gets fired.
ESPN, I think.
ESPN fired. My point is that
in the name of inclusion.
In the name of inclusion, that's right, yeah. But we could sit here for 30 minutes and list off a bunch of people that's been fired in years past. Yeah, now you've got this type of response here where they're like, this is, I guess we're winning. It reminds me of the passage of scripture where it says, "Don't grow weary in doing good, because if you don't grow weary in doing good, because if you'll
hang in there in Hebrew,
Hebrew, you'll reap if you don't give up."
Right.
And hang in there. So I think the Christians have fought this issue. Now I don't think we did really good early on. We were really caught on our heels in the messaging. We were in defense mode, and I think it took us a long time. But a combination of Christians being better, a little better in the apologetic side of this, but also too, time just proves this out, because you can call me a hater,
right,
all you want, but evidence over time when I'm still being the same person, there's no hate there.
Yeah,
it's like the SPLC the other day. They got all this false hate out there.
You know what I would also ask, Frank, is for those who say you're a hater, what if I say, so what?
Well, yeah, they don't have really a moral standard outside themselves to
What's
judge
their answer if I say so what?
good or wrong is. They'll probably just say you shouldn't be a hater. Of course, they don't have a moral standard.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So where are you getting the hate wrong?
Yeah.
What moral playbook are you looking at? The Bible. Oh, the Bible. Oh, okay. So
the left is not consistent.
You're a
Can you
Bible
just say
thumper.
that?
Yeah.
Well, they're not consistent. They have these moral rights they've developed out of nowhere. There's no right to same-sex marriage because God has not granted a right to same-sex marriage. If there is no God, there are no rights. There's just preferences. It's just your preference against somebody else. Yet on one hand, people will argue there is no God. On the other hand, they will say that we have certain rights. They'll say that they'll say that marriage is a social construction, but we have an absolute right to same-sex marriage. Look, if marriage is a social construction, there's no right to any kind of marriage. Whether it's same-sex or opposite sex, natural marriage, there's no right to anything. It's just an opinion.
Right.
If you don't have an authoritative standard of righteousness outside yourself, as our Declaration of Independence says, you don't have rights.
Yeah. Well, Frank, I mean, we have your evidence, your proof of what happened early on when Wesley was talking early on. I don't know how much of this you want to share, but you were canceled, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, I was fired from Cisco and Bank of America because I wrote a book called Correct, Not Politically Correct.
And they fired
same-sex
you.
marriage and in the name of inclusion, tolerance, and diversity. I was not included, not tolerated, holding a diverse view. The left is not consistent, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, back to the whole point of this, sports is supposed to bring people together.
Yes.
You're supposed to sit next to one another, regardless of your political views, and cheer for your team.
Yeah.
Don't quit inserting sin into the sporting event.
Amen.
By the way, the owner of the New York Knicks announced that his team will be going to the White House.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
So, the White House is a place where all sports teams go.
Sure.
Should go. Now, they polarized that one.
Right.
So, all right, Frank, take care, my friend. Appreciate it.
God bless you guys.
Okay, see Frank Turek there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back momentarily.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildman.
On November the 19th, 1863, two men were speakers at the dedication of a soldier's cemetery on a famous battlefield in Pennsylvania. One of the men who was to speak was the main speaker for the day, and the other had only a few words to say. The man who spoke first, the featured speaker, spoke for a full 2 hours. The other gentleman said what he had to say in 3 minutes and used only 219 words to say it. 2 years later, both of these men were dead. The featured speaker died as a result of natural causes. The man who had only a few words to say died as a result of an assassin's bullet. Very few people have ever heard any part of a featured speaker's address, yet nearly every school child in America has learned by heart the words of the second speaker. I guess as one looks back at the thing, that how much one says isn't all that important. Now, you preachers and politicians, you need to take note of what I'm saying. One is left with the firm impression that what matters most is what one says. In other words, it isn't quantity that counts in the long haul, but quality. And this principle could be applied not only to speeches, but more specifically to lives. Take the example of the life of Frederick William Robinson. Hardly a person there is who has studied at the job of being a minister who has not only heard of this man, but also studied his writings. He was the pastor of Holy Trinity Church in Brighton, England. He regularly preached to larger crowds than most preachers do today. His sermons have been preserved and printed, yet he died when he was only 37 years old. Or consider Nathan Hale. He was a school teacher prior to the Revolutionary War. Entering the service, he was commissioned a captain. He volunteered for spy duty behind the lines of the enemy, knowing the penalty should he be captured. He was captured and was hanged the next day. The enemy refused his request for a Bible and the services of a minister. Yet he died only after saying that he regretted that he had only one life to give for his country. He was dead at the age of 21. There was another who lived only a short time. He was a carpenter until he was about 30, and then turned to preaching. His ministry was extremely short, covering a period of approximately 3 years. He enjoyed moments of popularity and acceptance as a minister and a pastor and a preacher, but was eventually rejected and put to death as a criminal and enemy of the state. His name was Jesus of Nazareth. He died at the age of 33. The two men who spoke at Gettysburg that day in 1863 were Edward Everett and Abraham Lincoln. I don't have to tell you which man's speech is remembered, because most of us know the Gettysburg Address.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
Hello, everyone. Tim Wildman, president of American Family Association and American Family Radio. We are going to Italy in March of 2027. We're also going to Greece in March of 2027, and we're doing those tours back to back if you want to do both of them. In Italy, we'll be going to Venice, we'll ride the gondola and see all the sights there, and we'll go to Pisa and walk on the Leaning Tower of. If you fall off, we're not responsible. Also, we're going to Rome and see the Sistine Chapel and the Colosseum and all the catacombs. We'll see all the sights of Rome. And in Greece, it's the Footsteps of Paul trip, so the places where Paul went in the Bible mentioned in Greece. If you want information on any of these tours, go to tours.afa.net, tours.afa.net, tours.afa.net.
I will praise the Lord at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. Psalm 34:1.
This is Today's Issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of Today's Issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of Today's Issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues here on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. Tim, Ed, Wesley, and Chris. And Chris, what's your next story?
Well, I have more good news, it would seem.
What? We can't ever get enough of good news, Chris.
Positive and encouraging. Chris Woodward here. Okay. So the update with the news out of Iran, or Iran, depending on how one might want to
Get ready. Get ready, people.
It would appear that nuclear inspectors are going to be going into the nation of Iran to look for and determine whether or not Iran is adhering to global standards of not pursuing nuclear weapons. That was something we touched on a little bit yesterday during the show, but that continues to be a story. And somebody that was asked about that is a man that appears to have gotten Iran to agree to that, and that is none other than Vice President J.D. Vance, who had this to say to reporters. Clip 2.
Whether good faith or bad faith, you can't trust anybody's words. You have to trust what they actually do. Letting in the inspectors is a big deal, but again, we're going to see what they actually let the inspectors do once they're in the country. That's going to continually be a part of our negotiation. So my point is not that I trust or distrust anybody. My point is that I trust actions. And what the president has asked us to do is verify what they're doing, focus less on what they're saying.
That was Vance?
That was Vance.
I mean, it just didn't sound like, I don't know. But yeah, did that sound like Vance to you, or do you heard him enough to know?
It's hard to tell.
Okay, I trust Chris. Chris, if you say that's Vance, that's Vance.
We pulled it off the Fox News channel.
Yeah, he probably had a cold or something. Make your voice change. Everything. Listen, this is, every day with these Iranian negotiations is, well, we'll see.
Right.
That's kind of the only approach you can have is, we'll see what happens, and that's kind of what Vance said right there. Although I will say this, if in fact it can be negotiated and arranged to have UN inspectors have unfettered access to Iranian soil, where they can determine if and verify that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, that would be huge in this whole negotiation deal. But I'm going to have to see Iran
agree to that
in writing and
in practice.
I'm going to, we mentioned it before, President Reagan, when negotiating with the Soviet Union, a de-escalation in nuclear weapons, he said, trust but verify.
Right.
So I think that needs to be the approach. And it sounds like it is the approach of the Trump administration in dealing with the Iranians. But, listen, another thing, a side note, did you know that Vice President Vance's wife is 8 months pregnant? What's her first name? Usha. She's 8 months pregnant. She's in Switzerland with him.
She flew at 8 months pregnant. I didn't think that was
right.
allowable.
A lot. I have a BA in communication from an A&M school, but I have always heard over the years that a woman that late in pregnancy should not travel that way.
I think the reason
she obviously has doctors with her.
I think that's the reason is because you need to be close to your home doctor,
right?
In case the further you get along, but. I'm pretty sure she probably had her doctor travel with her.
Well, I'm just going to say it's been so long since I had a baby. My wife and I mean.
Yeah, good. Good. Glad you clarified.
I don't remember, but I there were all kinds of restrictions. I couldn't shove my wife anymore. All that kind of stuff when she was pregnant.
Yeah,
I'm not supposed to laugh at that.
That was a bad. That was a bad joke.
It was a bad joke.
That was uncalled for.
Behind every good man saying "We did it, honey" after she gave birth is a great woman rolling her eyes.
All right, I will say this. This is absolutely true. I've never laid a hand on my wife in anger. First of all, she could take me. Okay, so that was
right.
Yeah. So, but when she had our first child, our daughter, she was in labor for 8 hours. Now, I was there for that, but afterwards I told her, I said, I don't know what you're complaining about. I work 8 hours every day.
Well, oh, gosh. Oh, wow.
That did not go over well.
Yeah, I kind of want to stand back from you right now. Fear of lightning bolt.
I know what you're complaining about.
Today.
I work an 8 hour day every day.
Yeah, bada boom.
One day she should write a book.
Who should?
Ed's wife.
Oh.
What's her name?
Her
What's her
memoirs.
Name,
Mrs. Vitagliano. She should write a book. Diane. Right?
Nice.
Diane.
Very nice.
I'm terrible with names. I'm still learning with you, Brad.
It's okay, Gary. What's your point?
Yeah. Anyway, she should write like musings or something. I don't know, like her response, like her version of the story.
Yeah.
It's my turn.
And let me tell you, the cover would be a picture of her rolling her eyes.
Right. All right, so back to Usha.
Yes.
She is, anyway, she's, I thought it was highly unusual that a 8-month pregnant woman would be flying international. But, as you guys say, she is on Air Force 2 and does have access to the best medical care.
Right.
So I'm sure, they're prepared should she go into labor over in Switzerland, right? Aren't they in Switzerland negotiating this?
They in Geneva? Yeah, I think
they've been in Switzerland. Yeah,
who again? This is there's a lot of pressure here on Vice President Vance.
Yeah,
because he's the lead negotiator, and he's got a lot on him. Right, this is a very, very important moment.
Right.
In 20. What do you call it? 21st century.
Yeah. It could impact his 2028 chances should he throw his
one way or the other.
Yeah. He to me he handles himself very well. And don't you guys think so? I mean, I do. I know I favor him because he's a conservative and I'm a conservative, so I know that bias enters into it. But just hearing him speak and talk and how he carries himself, Vice President Vance, and he's a relatively young man. What is he, in his early 40s?
Yes, he's just a little bit younger than me. It's the first time in my lifetime somebody in that office has been younger than me. I think he's 42.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to say 43, but
42.
But he's in that ballpark. But he's very articulate. He understands the issues. He understands our constitutional government. and he's a strong Christian. And listen, Marco Rubio, because Rubio was involved in a lot of this going on, his stock was rising. And now Vance, as he kind of takes center stage on the negotiations, his stock has to be rising. So,
yeah,
he's a good person to have doing this.
He is currently, well, I don't think, he was born in August of 84, so he would be 42 this August.
Okay.
Good night. Ed, we were moving down the life's highway.
Oh,
84 was the Summer Olympics.
You were watching Mary Lou.
Mary Lou Retton. No, I told Buddy Smith in Devotions yesterday. We were talking about, I might have mentioned this on the air yesterday. I can't remember because I'm so old. But we were talking about something, and I told him, I said, I don't like looking in the rearview mirror, man. There's a long stretch of road behind me. And
Right.
I told him, I said, and sometimes I fear the bridge is out right around the next turn.
Yeah. We had an intern a few years ago, great young man. Wish him well. But I asked him one day just randomly, I was like, what's the first movie you remember seeing? And he told me the name of the movie, and I looked it up, and it came out in 2010. I was like,
Vance was born the year I was married.
Oh.
Anyway, Father Time waits on no man.
Head is undefeated.
Yes.
One
All right,
day-
you're listening to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Next story, Chris.
I was just going to say, one day when Brent and I are randomly airing on every other Tuesday on AM from some bunker, we'll have these stories about how time has passed us by, if the Lord tarries.
If the Lord
Yes.
tarries.
From some bunker.
Yeah. Well,
Are you prophesying something? Or?
No, I was just
Oh,
joking. One day,
okay.
like, we're going to be randomly, because, the government won't let us broadcast.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
I'm just hypothetically.
You're rambling right
Yeah.
there. You're rambling, man.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so there are some primaries today in New York, and these are things to watch,
been
even
waiting
though
on
you
this
might
story.
live in Manhattan, Kansas, instead
Yeah.
of Manhattan, New York.
Yeah.
The reason why I say Americans should pay attention to
Yes.
and watch this situation is because, interestingly enough, in New York today, we've got battles between the far left and the left. We've got Democratic socialists running against Democrats in New York primaries.
It's crazy versus lunatic.
Yes.
But they're both in the Democratic Party.
But they're both in the Democratic Party. Now,
See what I did there?
The Democratic Socialists have been, no shocker, endorsed by the Democratic Socialist mayor, Zohran Mamdani.
Yeah.
So be watching these kinds of
I
things
am.
because what happens in big places sometimes inspires people in other places. If Democratic Socialists continue to win elections, it will inspire a Democratic Socialist in other parts of the country. So even if you live in Yoknapatawpha County, Mississippi, which is a fictional place, it might inspire you to run for office, which is why you've seen people like the mayor of Seattle run for office. She's a
And
Democratic
win.
Socialist. Yeah.
Somewhere out there in America, there's a young 11-year-old aspiring Democratic Socialist who just watching the news tonight to see, is there a road forward for me?
Well, to that young man or woman, I
Yes.
would suggest you
Well, they don't know what
only
they
listen
are,
to
though.
AFR and pay attention to Frank Turek's cross-examined.
I don't know
Well,
which letter they are.
We said this in 2020 as the Democratic Party was going through its primary season. You remember Joe Biden was having a struggle against Bernie Sanders, an admitted socialist. We've made this point many times. And when it became clear that Bernie Sanders could give Joe Biden a run for the nomination, it was the Democratic Party got everyone together and they said, we're going to have to get behind Joe Biden. So Bernie Sanders and some others dropped out.
Yeah.
And they threw their support to Joe Biden. He was able to win in South Carolina and get him on the road to the nomination. But we surmised that part of the agreement with the Bernie Sanders wing of the party was that if we do this, if we drop out and throw our support to Joe Biden, you've got to open the door to the socialist wing of the party in terms of making decisions. And it seems clear that not only has that happened, but almost all the energy within that party comes from the socialist wing.
Yeah.
And I fully expect that tonight, as we're seeing the results, I would expect some of these socialists to win. And that could spell doom for the Democratic Party for an entire generation if they go so far to the left, if they abandon Israel, if they continue to defend men and women's sports, all these kinds of things, and then tax into oblivion the wealthy in these big cities and continue to drive businesses out, you could see a real struggle for political relevancy amongst the Democratic Party.
Yeah, it's something
All right,
for sure.
Next story, Chris. Wesley, you didn't want to comment on
No,
any of
I'm
this?
ready for the next story.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Next story, Chris.
Well, speaking of people that are trying to get attention and possibly inspire others.
That's me.
We do have a story on our website from the Associated Press, which reports that Tucker Carlson says he will no longer support the Republican Party ahead of the November midterm elections. Speaking on the Can't Be Censored podcast, Carlson expressed disillusionment with the Republican Party. He said he defended for 30-plus years. He criticized the party for prioritizing foreign interests over American citizens. Carlson's views of the GOP have shifted, especially after President Donald Trump's decision to go to war with Iran in February.
Did he say what party he would be?
He did not, but I would guess it's probably going to be like an independent type situation, which a number of broadcasters claim to be independent-minded type people. They're not a registered Republican. Carlson
I think we should all be independent-minded. I mean, make evaluations on people and policies based on whether they're good or bad, not whether there's an R or D beside them. But for practical political purposes, PPP, see what I did there?
Especially for a general election.
Yeah. We have political parties for a reason, okay? And there are only two major political parties. A third party has been tried by people on the left and on the right, and they don't work, okay? Because the things you have to do to create a third political party that's viable for any length of time are just impossible, okay, in today's day and age.
That's why reforming within the party is more doable.
Yes, so what you do, that being the case, that's what I always tell people, why don't we form a Christian party? Okay, we can form a Christian party and get 7%, you know.
Well, not only that, we've said this many times, you can have a very popular independent third party, whatever you want to say, third party candidate. And for president,
Ross Perot.
Yeah, I mean, you can have someone who draws interest, but if they win, how do they govern? Because now you not only have one opposition party in Congress to battle against, you have two.
Yeah.
So you would have no support in Congress because you have nobody else except for the presidential candidate who's third party. And that's why it's so difficult for this to happen.
The money and organization it takes. Ross Perot, for all his money and all his popularity at the time, for those who remember that name from the 80s, I think he got, what did he get, 16%?
He was in the 90s.
Peaked. It was enough to keep H.W. Bush from getting reelected.
Yes, but I'm saying and he had a very popular following, okay? But he only got he finished still third place behind Bush and
Clinton,
Gore, or whoever the people were at the time that were running. So I'm just saying that your best option, if you want to make an impact in politics, is to be a part of a major political party, R or D, and then work within that party to promote your ideas.
And then if you go all the way down to extremely local parties, then you can be a little bit more critical of an individual.
Well, that's what President Trump figured out at the time. He was basically an independent. I mean, when he first ran for president, now his ideas were more in line with the Republican Party, even though he had been a Democrat in New York, but almost everybody was, except for Rudy Giuliani. I'm just saying that even Donald Trump, he, much like Ross Perot, had a organic popularity following because of his TV show celebrity and because some of the ideas that he was promoting, especially America First. But even he figured out, hey, I gotta get
the political. I got to get the Republican Party on board with my message.
You know, he got almost 19% of the popular vote in '92.
Wow.
Ross Perot.
Oh, did he?
I think that was the best anyone's ever done in a third-party run. Almost 19%.
That's a lot.
Man, when you first mentioned Ross Perot, I remembered hearing things in his voice. 92 was like the first election I really remember and seeing played out on television the whole year or whatever. And I just remember him debating. To his credit, he was able to debate Bush and Clinton at the same time, and NAFTA was the big topic or whatever, and he was like that giant sucking sound. I mean, you should look it up on YouTube.
Cartoon voice almost.
Well, I just remember he was on Larry King's show.
Yeah.
Ross Perot was,
Larry,
and he would say, "Larry,
yeah,
Larry."
Man, a State of the Union in his speech.
Larry, I'm going to tell you something, Larry. Now, Ross Perot kind of was ahead of his time in terms of he sort of saw ahead on what he viewed some of our trade agreements were going to do, and that was hurt the manufacturing base in the U.S., and he tried to warn against it. I don't know what all his platform was, but that was he
was almost an America First kind of
back in those days. Yeah,
he was against NAFTA. And NAFTA's been replaced with something, a different name. But that's when he made his famous statement that if we go through with this, you're going to hear a giant sucking sound, which is going to be American jobs going into Mexico.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for joining us, Tim, Ed, Wesley, and Chris. Chris, do you have another story you'd like to bring forth?
I do. We have a new College World Series champion.
I watched that game.
No shocker here. It's another SEC team. The SEC, for the seventh year in a row, has won the College World Series. The latest champion is the Oklahoma Sooners, a team that finished with a sub-500 record in its conference and did not win a conference tournament game, ekes into the postseason, plays like their hair is on fire, and goes on to dominate the North Carolina Tar Heels, which was a very good team. They won it in the third of best-of-3 series, and the Oklahoma Sooners, for the first time since '94, are your College World Series champions.
You sound like a frustrated sports commentator.
I got into broadcasting to work into sports, and this is my moment.
Yeah.
Played like their hair was on fire.
Yes.
So the Georgia Bulldogs want something other than football, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, not the Georgia Bulldogs.
Oklahoma beat Georgia, which was my pick on that side of the bracket.
Thing, yeah.
I was half right. I predicted it would be Georgia, North Carolina, and I got half of it right.
No.
So I keep up with this.
Oklahoma Sooners won the national championship.
That's right. So I keep up with college baseball real closely, and so after the fact, I had Georgia picked to win it too. After Oklahoma wins, after being, let me repeat this, sub 500 in SEC play, they accidentally got lucky in postseason. As a coach, how do I tell my players that things matter?
Yeah.
Or does luck involved?
This is what you do.
Okay, hold on.
I
hear the people from Oklahoma saying, "Hold on a minute, luck. We went through the whole tournament, came out number one. That can't be just luck."
It's not just luck, because that happens all the time in sports.
It does.
You get teams who get hot at the right time of the year.
Or they get injured players back.
Yeah.
Or they get injured players back. And conversely, you can have a team that's dominant all year, and then they have an unfortunate string of injuries.
UCLA, perfect example.
And they wind up not
There's a
doing
reason
well.
for that, though. They played really, really, really weak teams.
They did.
Okay, Oklahoma Sooner fans, you can send your emails to Wesley.
No, he's talking about UCLA.
No, UCLA.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, UCLA's it was.
You're not dissing Oklahoma.
UCLA basically went
Oklahoma played.
No, they played phenomenal teams.
Yes.
Yeah. They played really
Oklahoma. The SEC, and this is going to sound like a homer kind of thing, because I'm from the SEC. I graduated from a school that's a member of the SEC. But the SEC regular season is basically the College World Series.
Yeah, sure.
That determines who's going to play other people.
It's a bloodbath, man.
Well, let me just say this. There's a reason for this, and that is weather. The teams north of the Mason-Dixon line, they can't even get out on the baseball field till mid-April hardly.
That's true.
That's right.
And so they're at a real disadvantage. So your Sun Belt teams, by Sun Belt, I'm talking about from California down to Florida, maybe north to Arkansas. It's about as far as north.
Mm-hmm.
Those teams seem to dominate in baseball and softball for the reasons I mentioned. Also, the high school players and the junior high players, which are feeding these college programs, they can play these sports almost year-round. Whereas
right.
you go to Pennsylvania and New Hampshire and Michigan, you're not going to be able to play baseball in 3 inches of snow.
Right.
So that's a disadvantage on those kinds of sports. Now, you get into football and basketball, then that's a more national test. Mm-hmm. And you see where Big Ten teams, for example, do great in basketball and football. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna mention. I thought I lost my train of thought about this being north and school wide. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. That's why there's all the colleges in baseball north of Tennessee.
Right.
They schedule their entire first month of baseball in the South.
Yeah.
So they'll come down. They'll come down here for all of February, all of March.
Mm-hmm. Right. So they can actually play ball.
So I was listening to one commentator. I was watching a team from up north play, and it was mid-April. They were playing their first game at their stadium, and State had already played 18 games at home.
Yeah. There is nothing more miserable than trying to watch baseball in 37-degree temperature.
Oh, yeah. Or a pitcher trying to pitch in it.
Yeah, they all. The players hate it, the coaches hate it, the fans hate it, the ones that show up. So it's just baseball. I remember I used to joke because high school football used to start in mid-August and still does.
Yeah.
And then high school baseball starts in mid-February, and I told people, what's wrong with this picture?
Yes, right.
We're starting football in baseball weather, and we're starting baseball in football weather.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll be back momentarily with more of today's issues on the American Family Radio Network.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Dr. Jessica Peck talked about reimagining the church with Dr. Rich Griffith.
But what if we became a church that realized, hey, we need to be family to each other? Young people have left the church because they had no ownership, very little accountability. It was like we were going to wait till young people became adults and then they became a leader, but we never did anything to prepare them to be a leader in advance.
Find this interview and other episodes of Dr. Nurse Mama on the podcast page at afr.net.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. The Iranian president arrived in Pakistan for talks with leaders mediating negotiations between Tehran and Washington. A lot happened yesterday when it comes to Iranian assets. The Treasury Department waiving sanctions on Iranian oil. Andrew Harding, National Security and Policy Analyst with the Heritage Foundation, thinks it's a sign that the vice president was able to deliver good progress.
I think we saw some progress on the nuclear question, ensuring that we'll see International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors come into the country and ensure that Iran's actions and words can be verified on its nuclear program. We're seeing the Strait of Hormuz open up, going from just a couple of ships transiting throughout a day to now seeing multiple dozen. And we're seeing broader talks about regional de-escalation, which combined shows that we've seen progress in these negotiations. And the only way that the Treasury Secretary authorized this type of general waiver is because of the progress we've seen in Switzerland.
But Kurt Volker, former U.S. ambassador to NATO, says it's premature to be giving Iran money.
Iran is playing games the way that it always does. They have Hezbollah attack Israel. Israel responds and they blame Israel. They say they're going to do one thing, then they don't do it. They negotiate some more. I really don't understand the financial part of this whole deal to begin with. If we actually had the upper hand, we'd say, okay, your nuclear program's destroyed. Let's get the strait open. Let's see how that goes, and then we'll go from there. But to take immediate steps on lifting sanctions, letting them sell oil, letting them get dollars or access to any funds that they have abroad, way premature.
There appears to be a rift between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that observers say threatens the alliance between the two countries. But according to the U.S. ambassador to Israel, The two have never been closer.
President Trump was quoted on a couple of occasions using strong obscenities when referring to Benjamin Netanyahu, and several outlets have reported him saying that Netanyahu will do whatever he tells him to do. Mike Huckabee, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, spoke to the Jerusalem News Syndicate and referenced the rhetoric.
I know there's been an enormous level of anxiety about the relationship between the United States and Israel. It's been one of those weeks where we're all reading things and saying, okay, yeah.
Huckabee says President Trump doesn't reserve the foul language for conversations with Netanyahu.
But even this afternoon, the president has issued very clear understandings to the Iranians that if they think that the United States is going to fold and collapse, I don't use those words, folks, even in private and certainly not in public.
Huckabee says Trump and Netanyahu are old friends, and the only thing stronger than the language between the two is their commitment to each other and the alliance.
There is no world leader that the president speaks to more than he does Prime Minister Netanyahu. Theirs is a relationship that is deeply personal, to the point that there is a candor between them that is probably unlike his relationship with anyone else.
He says, rhetoric aside, President Trump is committed to the U.S.-Israeli alliance.
America has an unbreakable bond with the state of Israel, and I trust that he means what he says.
I'm Steve Jordahl.
Happening today, the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship Conference begins in London. The nonprofit organization is working to empower citizens to help their communities and nations thrive. ARC board member Michael Schellenberger says the theme of the conference is the age of Reconstruction.
Well, this conference is really about remembering that this wonderful civilization that we've inherited rests on a set of pillars that include things like free speech, equal justice under the law, meritocracy, cheap energy, and the protection of minors, and that all of those pillars are currently under threat by the cancel culture, censorship industrial complex, DEI policies, transgender surgeries, depolicing, and sort of the war on police. And that we really need to tell a new story that reminds all of us that we should be grateful for this incredible amounts of freedom and prosperity that we've really inherited from our ancestors, but that our schools and universities have been teaching people to view as evil because of things that have happened in the past.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
If we lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildman and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney empire. The movement Don started paved the way for Christians to boldly stand for truth and righteousness in a hostile culture. Watch Culture Warrior today for free. Visit culturewarrior.movie.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildman, president of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to today's Issues. Tim, Ed, and Wesley here, and now Steve Paisley Jordahl.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning, Brother Steve.
How y'all doing today?
Everybody's good, Steve. We're in a good. You're in a good mood. Chris really, he brought forth a lot of positive stories, didn't he, Ed?
Absolutely.
And he did it with a good attitude, didn't he?
He had a good attitude.
He did.
Plenty of energy.
He did. He said. Now that Red Bull, you drink 3 of them like you did, that's going to cause a mid-afternoon crash.
It will.
I think. But Chris, he brought it for the moment. And
yes, and that's what's important. It doesn't matter what the consequences are later on in the day.
Anybody here drink Red Bull?
I do
not.
Occasionally.
Okay, when do you drink Red Bull?
I drink Red Bull about 4 times a year.
Right.
When I'm driving.
And you're tired.
I'm tired, and it's getting late in the day. A long trip.
So there's a chemical purpose for it.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
To jack you up for about an hour or two.
And
how long does it take? How long does it keep you elevated?
So if you drink an 8-ounce Red Bull, which they make them up to like 24 ounces, which I do not recommend.
This is bad for your heart, though, isn't it?
A little bit of
ounces?
it's not. No, 8 ounces is
8 ounce, an 8-ounce Red Bull.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
That depends on who you ask. because they don't quantify what I just said. It depends on how much you drink.
Right.
But now 8-ounce Red Bull takes about 15 minutes to kick in. So you could actually drink it, sit there and play on your phone, and then get going. And it will last. It will last about 4 hours of just like this.
Does it give you wings?
Your eyes are like.
Okay.
You don't
so
even.
If you're driving, it's helpful.
Yeah, and you don't even feel like. You don't even go like.
Is it caffeine?
It's caffeine. A lot of it.
Now, the dumbest thing I ever did.
You sure you want to share this?
I'm going to share this.
Because you can't go back once you've shared it on live national radio. It's out there. The internet lives forever.
In the context of our discussion, when I was a youth pastor and therefore invincible.
Right.
Okay. I took my young people. We had a lock-in.
Big mistake.
A lock-in on Friday night. So I was up all night long, and then I drove the youth 12 hours to a week-long camp. Man, that was, I don't know how many times I had to stop.
You drove the van?
I drove the van. They were all
After
asleep.
staying up all night? Did you get to sleep?
I got sleepy.
Wow.
It was a dangerous thing.
I would like to add, and by the way, I heard that you did a terrible thing. You shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't have done that.
I know.
But you should have.
Thank God nobody was hurt.
Should have taken a Red Bull because it reduces fatigue. Red Bull contains vitamin B, B6,
that's good for
B12.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what happens with this kind of stuff, and I've seen it before. You got to read the stories. You get one person who misuses it, and that's all they drink, 24 ounces 3 times a day. They go to a sporting
all during
event.
Exam week.
Then they go put their football gear on, and then they end up having an incident.
Yeah.
And then the headline reads Red Bull
bad for you.
Bad for you.
Yeah.
So
I live on 5-hour energies.
Those are way worse. I'm just kidding. Those are they serve the same purpose.
Are those little yellow and red bottles I see?
Yeah.
At the convenience store?
Yeah.
Says Jack something on it. Jack, those little bottles. Jack.
I'd say 5-hour energy.
It's named after somebody. Jack Daniels, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so.
That.
That's a different bottle.
That does not wake you up, though.
I think it says jack you up.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, we better move on here.
Yeah, we should.
Because we'll get a wide variety of opinions from our listeners.
We would like to hear from our listeners.
Listen, I already
I like
sensed
your-
the
yeah.
judgment on me.
Do you?
Yeah, that was admittedly
It was
dumb.
a long time ago, and if you had to do it again, you wouldn't do it.
No, I mean, I stopped when I was tired, but it took like 14 hours to get there for a 12-hour trip.
Yeah. Somewhere along the way, hour 3 or 4, you're thinking, who in the world had this stupid idea?
And I raised my own hand and answered to it.
12 hours?
It's 12 hours.
Where do you have to drive 12 hours to a youth camp?
It was somewhere in Oklahoma.
From where?
From Tupelo.
Oh, that's 12 hours? Okay. Well, I guess once you stop and everything.
Yeah, well, we stopped to eat. And I mean, it wasn't straight through. I don't want people to think I was a complete moron. Come on.
Go ahead, Steve.
All right. Hey, can we start with the latest example of Trump derangement syndrome?
Okay.
This
bring
is beautiful. So Donald Trump is wanting to clean up the nation's capital for our 250th anniversary, which is, what is it called? This semi-subsequent, I don't know, there's a word for it.
You're not even going to try?
Sesquicentennial or?
Semi-sesquicentennial.
Semi-sesquicentennial?
Yeah, so like a 200, so.
I had that once. I had to take put some kind of lotion on my feet. I had that semi-sesquicentennial. Well, it was from being in, the ocean
Yeah, we got
water.
it. Yeah.
Donald Trump has decided he wants to clean up the town. He wants it to look nice. And so one of the things he's done is he has he's taken the reflecting pool, which is that long body of water between the Lincoln Memorial and the
World War II Memorial.
World War II Memorial.
Yeah. And the Washington Monument.
Monument. Anyway, this is the one where you see the MLK I Have a Dream speech was around that. Well,
it's the one that Jedi jumped into
Yes,
and
that's
said,
right.
Forrest Gump.
There it is.
Jed. Sorry.
And so he has went and resurfaced that, made it all kinds of nice and blue and everything. But they've
Personally,
discovered
personally,
huh?
Well, Nothing. I'm sorry. I mean, you said he went and
whole lot of
he had it done. He authorized a contract to resurface the basin. 2,000-foot long pool. Anyway, he did it in American flag blue, and by all accounts, it was just gorgeous. It really was beautiful. But it started growing algae. The water started turning green. Well, the left here who want Donald Trump to fail at everything and anything, always they want him to fail at everything. They are now rooting for the algae.
What?
Listen to cut 11.
She is doing good today, honey. We're sweethearts. Everybody's proud of you. You are single-handedly doing more to fight fascism than any American has. Yeah, algae.
It doesn't sound like they got enough people there to even have a secretary.
It wasn't a large protest.
For their club.
They're rooting for the algae.
They're rooting for the algae to make Donald Trump look
as
bad.
a way to fight fascism.
That's right.
Yeah. That's sad. I feel sorry for these people.
I want to say something insulting, but I'm not, because I'm a Christian.
Right.
I should just say, bless their hearts.
in the southern way, right?
That is insulting, but not directly.
Not to their faces.
So, we were there. Our group was there last Thursday afternoon. It was green.
Oh, okay.
The water was green, but
had he resurfaced it at that point? I guess he probably had.
I think he had. I think
that part was completed. I think there was the unexpected. The algae part was new. Like that's another thing they're having to treat. They're supposed to have to flush it out, but it's supposed to take a couple months.
I don't know. What does it matter?
Well, he wants it to look nice for in blue for the American flag blue.
Personally, I think the reflecting pool looks nice, whatever color the water is. It's just a really nice.
They can't shock it like a pool with chlorine or something, or is that
they can?
Because they can, but the size of it.
Okay,
I think.
Well, they can afford the chlorine. I'm sure. I think that they are. There's workers there that are getting the chlorine, the algae out. But my point being that the left, they want to see.
Yeah,
they think
they're TDS.
That's sad.
Yeah, no, that's what I said.
I mean, it's yes, I could use other words, but it's sad to be so filled with hate for a person.
You're cheering on algae.
That you're cheering on algae.
Yeah.
I mean, what's next? They're cheering on murder hornets?
Yeah.
I mean, if Trump had something to get rid of murder hornets, then they would.
They would cheer for the murder hornets.
Next story, Steve.
All right. So this happened in San Francisco. A man and his fiancée were taking a Waymo, which is one of the driverless taxis that are in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And they get in this driverless taxi, Waymo. They're on Highway 101. And they come to a construction zone. And the Waymo driverless car misses all of the construction signs. It misses everything, and it goes right into the construction zone, which attracts a police officer, which doesn't, I don't think it knew it was a Waymo or it was driverless, because it started chasing it with a siren on. And the poor people in the back, the guy's name was Elliot Slade, and his fiancée were sitting there yelling, "Stop, Waymo, stop!" But it wouldn't stop, and the police were chasing it down. They finally did stop. It finally got out of the construction zone, but this is one of over what Waymo says is a dozen similar incidents in which self-driving taxis accidentally enter construction zones after failing to recognize the warning signs. They've recalled over 3,800 of their robo-taxis to try to fix this.
Please tell me we have audio.
The guy yelling?
The guy was yelling, but he was using words we can't use.
First, let me just say these driverless taxis are way more dangerous than just being in a regular taxi cab in a big city.
Ooh, that was good and bad at the same time. That was
way more dangerous.
So
would you ever take a driverless taxi?
No, I might in a big city. I'm saying I might. I'm speaking bravely. I'm not if we're going on a highway, interstate.
Yeah.
I'm not going at 65, 70 miles an hour.
How do you tell the thing that it's going the wrong direction? You know,
I suppose you can give it directions. Waymo, stop here. Waymo, pull over. But it was ignoring those directions.
But in this case, the Waymo.
Who gets
I think this is Waymo unhinged, because this Waymo just said it had enough. It had a breaking point, and it started taking off down a construction zone. Now that's just outright dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And the cops are behind they're behind the Waymo chasing it.
Yeah.
How do you get a Waymo to pull over? That's
And
what
then
I'm
when you
saying.
walk up as you're a cop.
If the police officer catches the Waymo,
Yeah.
Okay.
And makes it pull over.
well, how do you make it pull over?
I don't
You
know.
have to communicate to it. Pull over.
Do the pit maneuver
Like,
on it.
hand signs? I mean, what
And
do
then
you-
a cop walks up
Okay.
and that window rolls down. There's nobody there.
There's nobody there.
And then there's two people in the back seat, and the
They're
cops
terrified.
go. And the cops going, "Oh, I
Okay.
see what happened.
Yeah,
you jumped in the back seat.
Uh-huh.
I was not driving, officer."
To answer your question, me personally, I don't know why people say me personally. I could just say personally, because me means
right.
me. I'm not getting in a van or a car that's driverless.
Even just around town.
No.
From your hotel to the stadium.
I'm not judging other people.
Yeah.
If you want to put your life in the hands of a
robot,
of an invisible person, you go ahead. But I know I do use the Lyft and the taxi service, but that's a human being. But I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting here, but I just don't. You hear stories like this, and you go, "Whoa!"
Yeah, this guy took an Uber home that night. He didn't want to get back in it.
He did actually.
Yeah.
He did
take an Uber home. Wesley, I hadn't heard from you. Would you get in a driverless car?
My first reaction is absolutely not.
Yeah.
But then part of me is like, I don't know. Maybe there may be a situation, a circumstance.
You can't live your life in fear.
That's what it is.
You know.
Apparently, you should.
Yeah.
After
Your
the way
wife's
this
going to
one
have a baby. She's in labor. You need to get to the hospital right now.
Hey, we're not too
that
far
kind of
away
thing.
from drone pickups.
So I saw
Picking up
those
people.
Yeah, we'll
Yes.
be at your house.
Yep.
And be at your house with we'll have a drone pickup in 20 minutes.
Maybe in Wesley's and Brent's time.
They did it on the Jetsons.
They did.
Have you not seen this?
I have.
Yeah.
I saw a
it.
video.
They wouldn't lie about
the-
that.
Speaking of drones, I saw a video on Fox this morning. The police were using a drone, one of these little mini drones with a magnet attached to it to go in. They went into the house. The guy was armed, but he was sleeping on the couch. He had a knife in his hand, and they went and they disarmed him by getting the knife with a magnet and flying it away so they didn't have the knife when they went and opened the door for him to arrest him.
Don't those things make a racket?
I
those
would
drones?
think that they probably have ways that they can make it quiet.
Yeah.
If you're law enforcement, you can,
This world is
It's changing.
this bizarro world.
It's a changing.
They're creating these single pilot plane drone type vehicles like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get those. That's the next thing.
Yeah. All right. His dog. What was it?
Astro? Was it Astro?
yeah,
No.
Astro was
Is
the
the
dog.
dog Astro?
Anyway. All right.
That was a
you
good
listen.
show. That was a good show.
The
Jetsons,
Jetsons,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a documentary.
It's a it appears that way now, doesn't it?
Astro, that's
Mr.
right.
Spacely.
Was it Astro?
Yeah.
Astro was the
Spacely was
dog's
his
name?
boss?
That'd be a good trivia question on Friday. His dog, Astro? It just
Was
doesn't
it?
sound right, though.
No,
does
it
That's
doesn't.
right. I'm looking at it,
His
guys.
dog.
I bet we could get
Y'all
Brett to-
arguing with the computer here?
Yeah,
Look it up.
you're looking it up on AI, aren't
Yeah,
you?
that's right.
Okay. Next story.
All right.
Steve?
Well, the most popular handgun in California is a Glock.
Yeah, it is.
And
Among criminals.
But there is among criminals, among everybody, but
Yeah,
criminals
yeah,
included.
everybody.
There is a way, apparently, with some aftermarket improvements or modifications to turn these to change the rate of fire of these pistols to what people are calling machine gun. Now, it's not a machine gun, but it fires way more rapidly than California wants. So instead of going after the people who are making the aftermarket modification gear, they are banning the Glock. A ban on Glocks is taking effect starting July 1. The justification is that the pistols can supposedly be modified easily with illegal aftermarket conversion devices that fundamentally alter their rate of fire. The state, according to the New York Post, the state has decided to restrict future retail access to the Glock. It's the instead of thereby punishing law-abiding citizens for the actions of criminals. It's the legislative equivalent of banning Honda Civics because someone used it as a giveaway car.
Also, too, it's already illegal in all 50 states to alter any firearm to become an automatic weapon.
Yeah,
So that's already illegal, even in California.
So the experts here, who are Second Amendment experts, are saying that this is kind of a test case. They're seeing if this takes in California, survives court challenges, it might be something that gun restriction advocates will try to implement nationwide.
They can start with California, New York. That's an easy one.
So you're telling me that California, the state, passed a law
July 1st, it comes into effect.
Okay, that bans the Glock.
Well, a particular model of the Glock.
Okay.
The new one. Well, so it's a new
Firearms
Glock.
dealers across the state will no longer be permitted to sell new Glock handguns or similar models. So maybe that this particular modification works on every Glock.
Okay.
Yes, but you still have to modify it.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out of the box as an automatic weapon. And the point that I just made at the beginning is it's already illegal to modify them. But that's why they're trying to find a loophole here to ban a gun.
Yeah,
a firearm.
That's the most popular handgun in the country.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Glock would be the number one handgun in the U.S.,
so.
right?
So people probably preferred by a
so
lot
in
of law
California, this
enforcement
means they're going to be outlawed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As of July 1st.
If you already own one, you can keep it.
So that's the thing. That's another thing
Your
about this.
grandfathered in.
Yep. So, yes. So now you get gun owner of America and other places saying go buy this gun, as many of them as you can, because it's outlawed after July 1st.
But your grandfathered in?
Yes. So apparently it's not that harming.
That bad, or they would grandfather it in.
Right.
Because then it would have to be a gun buyback or a gun turn your gun in. Or
but then you own a gun that is under a cloud of suspicion.
Yeah, sure.
Because if you do own one, miraculously in California, and the cop says, "What have you got?" Well, I have a Glock. Oh,
yeah.
Well, I bought it before it became illegal.
That's right.
Now you got to produce papers. I want to see your papers.
The law also will require firearms dealers to complete comprehensive state-approved training designed to help them identify customers who might pose a danger to themselves or others. So the gun dealers have to take training so that they can say, you don't look like you need a gun.
This is the Second Amendment, death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
That's right.
This legislation is going to become so onerous that people just say it's just not worth the hassle.
Let me, guys, ask you this, and this has been talked about and discussed 1,000 times, but I'll bring it up one more time because, in trying to have discussions on this, the Second Amendment of the Constitution, which is pretty high on the list for the Founding Fathers, if it's right after freedom of religion and freedom of speech, why we're fighting for, and that is for people to have the right to
keep and bear arms,
to keep arms, and they're basically okay. So, here's my question: when you ban by legislation, by law, firearms of any kind, all right, which I understand.
You don't have to explain that. We get that.
But here's what I'm asking is, what makes you think that criminals or bad guys are going to obey gun laws?
They don't think
they're already gonna. Don't they read the sign that robbery of this bank is against the law? First,
They don't think
how
that.
do they? How do help me understand how
that's not the point
what,
of the law.
Okay.
The point of the law is to make owning guns illegal. Is to undermine the Second Amendment.
They say it isn't. Some of them would say it is, but I mean,
they think only the police should have guns, and so they want to.
Donnie doesn't think that.
Huh?
The New York mayor thinks that the police should not. They should not have guns. They should have.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying in general, they want the police to be in charge of law enforcement. And for you to call the police.
This is the defund police people.
This is the this is the anti-gun people.
Okay, anti-gun people.
And so they don't care about the criminals. They care about taking guns away from ordinary citizens.
But why would you have that approach? What even makes sense about that?
You can't take over a country. If you're going to oppress your people, if they're armed, they're going to fight back. You got to take their guns, and then you can take their freedom.
Okay, so but are you telling me the average lefty out there, who, like I was reading the other day, the the mayor of Chicago. What's his name, Johnson or?
Brandon Johnson. Yeah.
Okay. He was talking about, I think it was this case, maybe another, but he was talking about the deaths in the city of Chicago over the weekend, and we all know that makes national attention because it's usually 20 or 30 or something like that. And they always say caused by gun violence.
Right.
And I guess if you believe that guns act on their own, the guns, on Friday night, the guns get out of the shelf, get off the shelf in Chicago and go looking for victims. I guess if you believe that, then yes, you would want to get rid of those guns.
It's interesting. In England, they're having a spate of crimes using knives because nobody over there have guns.
Going to ban knives?
They are. They're talking about knife control. Literally talking about knife control.
And the bad guys will obey that, right?
Well, the anti-gun people generally think that the existence of guns in this country, you have all these companies produce guns for the citizens because of the Second Amendment, is the reason why criminals have guns. That is their idea, that if you can stop people from buying guns and owning guns, even law-abiding citizens, these gun companies will go out of business and the criminals won't have any guns to steal. And therefore, you'll have a decrease in gun violence.
Now, the group of people that you're talking about, I think you're trying to get to the bottom of that. There is a large group of left-leaning activists that do have an uncalculated or unofficial or not complete approach to empathy. They would see a school shooting and say to themselves, if we would take the guns up, that would not have happened.
Right.
But the FBI has reported that there's around 45,000 deaths annually in the United States, which also includes suicide by firearm.
Right.
And the FBI also reported that around 500,000 people are saved each year because of the firearms.
Because of the Second Amendment.
Because of the Second Amendment.
But by the way, I know we're almost out of time. It's his boy Elroy in the Jetsons theme song, not his dog Astro.
Okay, Elroy was his son.
Elroy was his son.
Astro was the dog.
That was the most important piece of
they had
information
Second
I could
Amendment.
pass
They had
along.
a Second Amendment in the Jetsons. Remember the laser gun?
Yeah.
All right, we're out of time. And Steve, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks to Brent, Creeley. All right, and I don't have time. Everybody else who helped with the show. We'll see you tomorrow.